So this past Saturday night, we witnessed one of the most disappointing super fights ever.
And I paid for that shit.
To basically,
Yikes!
Basically, it was just a show to set up a fight that we all actually really do want to see. Canelo versus Triple G is finally in the books.
So if you're not into boxing, it's 50% so far.
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks ago it was great.
Yeah. And then now we had this shit.
Yeah.
That's the fight we've all been waiting for. But Chavez, as we called him Saturday, shout out to Young Guns 2, didn't show up.
No, he showed up.
He did. He showed up. He made weight. He was a professional.
So
cashed a check late at night.
So I wanted to pose this as hit or flop, but I think it's more than that. Was this a farce or nah? To me, this seemed like some bullshit. And
y'all
Omar,
ought to be ashamed of yourselves for this shit. For even really, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Because Canelo did exactly what Floyd has done for a decade. He dismantled somebody and made it look easy. And as soon as that happened, y'all want to say it's a farce. Y'all never said that about Floyd. Never. The man is good.
No, he is very good, but I saw Canelo on the ropes, not doing anything, and Chavez not doing what he normally does. He did not throw punches.
I've seen the same shit happen to Floyd. I've seen that when Floyd has systematically broke somebody down, and then he's like, all right, you're not doing it, I'm going to sit back on the ropes, and then they don't know what to do.
The thing that didn't feel right for me, and I said it Saturday, and I'll say it again. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Canelo, and yes, I mean, it was clear. Chavez said himself, he said himself, and then Nacho Beristain confirmed it as well. He didn't want to throw a lot of punches because he was afraid of the counter that would come back. So, and that happens. We definitely know that happens. Like sometimes fighters won't engage because they think that that their opponent, they can take their punches, and then they get in there with him, which is, to use the Floyd Mayweather example, that happened a lot, where you feel Mayweather's straight jab, and you realize it's some steam on there.
And that's just the jab.
So I'm with that. Where it got funny for me was that WWE action that was happening
after the fight.
Which they got from Floyd, too. Like, this is all his imprint, which we never complained about. That's all I'm saying.
I've never seen Floyd have his opponent come into the ring.
All they did was build the fight.
They had a montage ready.
They had it ready. They had it cut and clipped.
Wait a second.
Triple G had makeup on.
So did not Bernard Hopkins get in the ring with De La Hoya?
Yeah, but Bernard...
After he lost that fight?
Yeah, that happened. But he didn't walk down the ring to Seven Nation Army.
Because the fight was already signed. They've signed the fight. We just didn't know it yet.
And why do you sign a fight if you know?
If the fight,
Bernard Hopkins, De La Hoya fight was already done before he won.
Go back and watch B-Hop. He was scared.
Yes, because the money goes away if De La Hoya lost. Just like the same thing with Triple G. The money goes away if Canelo loses.
And we can't have the money go away. And here's the only thing that I want to put out there in response to that. I'm gonna ask you this, Omar. I'm gonna ask you this. Do you think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is a $3 million fighter? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. That was the amount of money that he got. So I'm saying they threw an extra $1 million on there. I'm not really saying it. I'm just propositioning.
Out there in the universe.
Get out of here. Come on, man.
They put extra $2 million on it.
The only way this is even credible is if you go back and watch every other Floyd fight and say it's all bullshit, because that's what it looked like to me. He got systematically beat.
Because you could see people trying and realizing they couldn't do shit. I didn't see Chavez try. That's all I'm saying. So what
I saw was Nacho come up with a bad plan, and it was horrible, trying to get that man to box, which that's not what he do.
That was definitely
he didn't want to box though.
Yeah,
but that was Nacho's plan.
He didn't look like he tried to box. He didn't box
because that's not what he do.
Well, he didn't do shit.
Yeah,
that's what he
did.
Listen
to Nacho.
Moving on. So. And you kind of alluded to this in one of your confirmation bias. With how bad the NBA playoffs have been going, it's been terrible to watch. Bad basketball. It appears we're definitely headed for a third straight Golden State Warriors versus Cleveland Cavaliers finals. With all the shit that's been going on, will this actually save the playoffs, this matchup?
And this is hope or hype, right?
This is hope or hype, yes.
So, in my opinion, it's only hype unless two things happen. Number one, LeBron James and Kevin Durant need to channel Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas and kiss each other before each tip off.
We saw how that turned out.
And
20 years later.
Hey, and there's a parallel. I'm just gonna ignore what he said, and you should too. There's a parallel there because Cleveland and Golden State are the first team since the '89 Pistons and '89 Lakers to start off 8-0. In a playoff run. So the first thing is they need to kiss each other on the cheek. And since this is 2017, they can move it to the lips. That's number one. Number two, the second thing is, and I'm serious about this one, if Kevin Durant and LeBron James say, you know what, I got him. From the opening tip all the way through, I got him. That's how this year's playoffs will be saved. If it's anything else, if it's, I'm going to hide out and guard somebody else, or I'll guard him for a few possessions here and there, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a complete bust.
This playoffs is going to be a bust then.
Kev.
I'll disagree just by saying I'm hopeful that finals matchup saves these NBA playoffs, because for the first time in my life, I've watched as many NBA playoff games as I have NHL playoff games.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm from start to finish. But it's a matchup it's the two teams everybody wants to see, and I believe that this is the first time that two teams have met in the finals 3 years in a row.
It will be.
It will be.
So it's the matchup everybody wants to see. No one can really handicap it unless you do your Kenyon teases, but I think that'll be a matchup worth the playoffs we've been watching.
I mean, we've been saying all year it's a 3-team league, and then somebody from the third team got hurt, and now we have this. Which is a damn shame. Rest in peace, playoff basketball.
Someone asked this earlier, I think it was Les. Does Cleveland or Golden State even lose a game in the conference finals?
Well, it looks like Golden State may be playing San Antonio as they've just taken the series lead. So maybe the Spurs get them 1 or 2, but if they win the series, but I think that's it. Cleveland won't lose.
I think maybe 1 apiece. That's my thought.
I think 1 apiece. I feel like Washington's going to beat the Celtics, because fuck the Celtics. And so I think they can get 1 from. I mean, they won't be able to contain John Wall for 4 straight games.
Yeah, he gets off once.
Yeah,
I get that.
It may not matter though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
All right.
The way they're playing now is just above everybody else.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's very true. They look pretty good. Now, recently it was previewed over the weekend on one of those terrible games in the evening. Charles Barkley's series on TNT regarding race in America. It debuted. Supposedly it's supposed to be like a mini series, a 4-hour. And they played the first hour, which actually is in Baltimore, discussing the race issues, Freddie Gray. And we're kind of close to this, Kev, for a multitude of reasons. So I want to kick it to you because I know you dove into it and we talked about it. Is this newsworthy or not? Or nothing to see here?
Only in the sense that it's a merger with, when sports meets politics and culture and current events. So I'd give it to TNT and say, yeah, it's newsworthy. Of course, I watched it. We're only 1 episode in. And with me being so close to the situation, here in Baltimore, I think that TNT had good intentions, but I think Charles Barkley did a disservice to providing a new perspective on this topic because he played into respectability politics. I mean, you can't look Tyrone West's mother in the eye and say, we need to do better, or that, hey, remember, police have a tough job. Like, I think that was a little off base. And I think maybe, like, Charles's way of thinking may progress throughout the series, which I think is important because, that could be the whole point of it. But at the end of the day, it just showed how off touch he is. And let's just say Charles won't be going to any Ravens games in the foreseeable future.
Do you really think Charles Barkley is going to change the way he thinks in the next 4 weeks?
Absolutely not. He still says one statement and then repeats it for the hour and a half.
I refuse to participate in that fuckery. I am not supporting anything with Charles Barkley talking about race. That shit right there was a non-starter. Like, TNT ought to be ashamed of themselves.
I think a part of the problem, and it's just it's been crystallized just in Kevin's comments and in what just Omar just said, is that you guys are talking about Charles Barkley instead of talking about race. And I think that part of the problem while it is well intentioned, you're right, Kevin, that Charles Barkley is trying to actually start a conversation and a dialogue. Charles Barkley should not be the center of attention. That's number one. Then secondly, when you talk about race in America, you're not going to be able to get to any real consequential issues or any real concrete dialogue in 4 hours. And so I think on TNT's part or whoever, I think the idea to have a conversation about race is important. I think having a luminary to lead that discussion is also important. I don't think Charles Barkley is the right person. But then also, this is something that needs to happen on a continuum. And so in 4 hours, you're just not going to get the whole scope.
And my thing is, Charles Barkley, it was not his idea. Carry nobody said it's not his idea. Somebody was like, wait a second, let's have a show, talk about race and put Charles Barkley in it. And it'll get people to watch. And that's the problem I have.
Ernie's the spook that sat by the door.